Hey everybody. So I promised to review this film a while back, and I didn't get around to it because I had a bad cold and sore throat I was getting over when I saw the film. Um, so it's finally arrived, my review for Seeking a Friend for the End of the World. In this film, you guys, right away in the film, on a radio show, it's announced that the world is going to end due to all our backup sources failing and not getting this meteorite to crash and burn. It's going to hit Earth. It's going to destroy everything in every place that we're aware of. Um, so people are preparing. They're just kind of living their lives to the fullest for how many days they have left when this meteorite finally hits us. And the story focuses on Steve Carell and eventually on Keira Knightley. And Steve Carell's wife ran away after she heard about the news. Steve Carell hasn't heard from her. So he's just kind of trying to figure out what he's going to do until the world ends. So he goes to parties. He gets invited by friends to do all this crazy stuff where people really don't care anymore and just really living life to the fullest. If they're thinking it, they're going to do it. Um, their craziest dreams come to life. I mean, people are having sex with other people. Married couples are having sex with anybody they want. People are just spending their money on whatever they want. People aren't showing up to work because it's just pointless at this point. I mean, the world's going to end, so what's the point of keeping the world going? Um, but Steve Carell feels alone. He's wifeless. He just doesn't know what to do. And he eventually does encounter one of his neighbors, played by Keira Knightley, who is also kind of going through a rough time. Her boyfriend seems, you'll see in the film, he's kind of overprotective. And when he's not overprotective, he's just kind of doing his own thing. And so Keira Knightley really wants to do something new and original and unique. And because she's always seen Steve Carell around this apartment complex that they both live in. She really wants to do something with him, just kind of, live her final days and get to know this guy that she's always seeing in this apartment, but never really got to know him too well. Um, so the two go on this adventure where Steve Carell helps her meet her family for this final goodbye. And he finally tracks down his dad, who's played by Martin Sheen, wishes him final goodbye and to kind of, apologize and kind of get his side of the story why he didn't get to know his dad for very long because he grew up without a father. Um, Martin Sheen did a terrific performance in this film. And so basically, it just focuses on two people and what they did with their lives before the world ended. Um, so I really enjoyed this film, you guys. I will say I was hoping for a little bit better of a film, but I did enjoy what I saw here. So for the positives, guys, some very touching and very cute moments in this film. Just a lot of um, Steve Carell and Keira Knightley really do some really neat things in this film. They definitely didn't force the romance. I felt they definitely um, let things develop and play out, and then from there we kind of see how things turn out based off their choices. Um, some realistic perspectives from the world ending was really accurately portrayed in here, like people being free, people doing whatever they want. It felt like a very realistic perspective on how people would truly treat if the world was ending and what they would do with the rest of their lives. I liked the some John Hughes vibes to this. There's actually was a song in here that was in 16 Candles. It was very brief, and I think it was remixed into another song. But if you listen closely, when I think it's when I apologize, it's been over a week since I've seen this, but I think it's when Keira Knightley meets up with an old friend of hers at this garage somewhere, and you hear a part of the song "True" that was used for 16 Candles, where Molly Ringwald first saw Jake Ryan in the gym at this dance. Briefly use it, but it's still in there. It's definitely made me think of John Hughes films as I was watching the movie. So I really liked kind of this John Hughes vibe to this film. I liked the frenzy scene in here. It definitely had a. I liked how this business was still going, but yet they were still kind of doing whatever they wanted, like everybody else. So I really liked the frenzy scene in here. I really liked what the director did with that scene. I love the addition of Martin Sheen in here. I think he's really becoming an excellent actor, and I like how he's kind of playing the mentor, father, grandfather figure. Really effective performance in here. I would even go so far as to say as I think I liked him even better in here than I did as Uncle Ben in The Amazing Spider-Man. I really liked him in that role. Um, I would definitely put this role he had in here, even though it was very brief. I would put it up there with his role in Apocalypse Now. I mean, it was just a very well done. You love the guy. You love how the honesty he had between his son and himself. Because the world was ending, there was no false information to be left behind. They let each other know what went on, kind of how they miss each other and what they wish they could have done. It was a really effective scene with Martin Sheen and Steve Carell, and I'm really glad that they had that in here in this film. Um, One thing I have here that's both positive and negative, I guess it depends on the kind of film you're hoping to see by going into this movie. I felt it was more entertaining than funny. Not a bad thing, but some people who are going to go in this film really hoping for a laugh out loud, um, maybe 16 Candles quality comedy film. It's not. I feel it never quite left that. It never quite got to that level of comedic value. But I really like the entertainment value of this film. I thought entertainment wise, it was a very good movie. There was some occasional flat humor in this, kind of playing off what I just said. Just some scenes in here that really fell flat. I felt, um, you know, can't get the humor right all the time, I guess. But there were just like some occasional scenes in here, just like, okay, that could have been better. That could have been better. Um, there was some moments in this film where I was almost kind of wondering what genre this was. I mean, because I loved the entertainment value of the film more so than the comedic value. There was just a lot of scenes where I was wondering if this is this a drama, a romance, a comedy, a dark comedy. I really wish the film could have established that a little bit better. Like I'm okay with subgenres being included into a story, but I think you should be able to leave a film kind of having an idea of what the main genre was. So I really wish this film could have decided which one of those genres it really wanted to be the most. Because I quite honestly, I saw all those genres within this film. Not a bad thing. And once again, just I really wish I left the film with a more clear mind saying, okay, this was a comedy, or this was a drama, this was a romance, this was a dark comedy. It's fine to have all of those, but I need to pick one of those that really represents what this genre is. Because, we want to be able to know as much about the movie as we possibly can. Um, I thought Keira Knightley was a little bit odd of a character in this. She did a good job with the character. Maybe it's just writing wise, I think she could have been better. I think she could have been written a little bit better. I like certain aspects of her character, like she had to smoke weed to wake up and had to smoke weed to go to bed. I like that kind of stuff. Um, she was almost a little bit unrelatable and unlikable because she was just so odd. Um, so I guess writing wise, I wish she could have been written just a little bit better. Like I said, I don't mind what they made here. I just really wish they could have wrote her to be, like, let's say, as likable as the Steve Carell or the Martin Sheen character. I think this film could have been maybe tamed down a little bit for certain content to be more of a PG-13 for a PG-13 audience, just because the film really didn't do well in the box office. And because this film, I think, could have appealed to a teen audience also, I think they could have taken some of the really, really dirty stuff out and replaced it with the PG-13 rating. I think it would have sold more tickets, to be honest. And I think it was just really sad to hear that this film didn't do very well because I thought it was a good film. And, you got to do what you can, I guess, to get more of an audience in it. So I think it could have passed with the PG-13 rating if they really went back and just say, you know what, we can have this sexual content discussion, but we got to make sure we can't say this or this or this kind of thing. Um, I think it would have really benefited the film if they did that. Um, Keira Knightley's bearded roommate, I thought, was really annoying in this film. It just once again kind of fell along the line of the flat humor. I just really think they could have made him a more interesting character. So I guess more than anything, this film just some of the writing choices for some of these characters was just a little bit unusual for me. But like I said, I love the Steve Carell character. I love the Martin Sheen character. I like Keira Knightley at times, but like I said, she was just kind of a little bit odd at some points in the movie. But overall, guys, I give Seeking a Friend for the End of the World an 8 out of 10. It is a good film. Make sure you see it. Um, I really like this film. I liked the unique approach to the end of the world and kind of how a romance story was able to fit with that. So if you haven't seen it yet, guys, make sure to check out Seeking a Friend for the end of the world.